I would love to have a real conversation with you about the issues. You've noted you think Republicans are afraid to debate you or talk to you or discuss the issues with you. Not only am I eager to discuss the issues with you, I'm willing to offer $10,000 to your campaign today.
Wow. All right. First, the challenge, and then the rejection. Conservative commentator Ben Shapiro calling for a debate with Democratic Socialist Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. He wants to debate her. He wants to debate her on the issues. The New York congressional candidate taking issue with Ben Shapiro, tweeting out, "Just like catcalling, I don't owe a response to unsolicited requests from men with bad intentions." And also, like catcalling, for some reason, they feel entitled to one. Whoa, all right. We called Ocasio-Cortez and we asked her to come on the show. She has yet to respond. But you know who did respond? None other than Ben Shapiro for his first interview since that tweet. Ben, it's good to see you.
Good to see you.
Making
First of all,
I
just want to know quickly.
She's making news with you here. Go ahead.
Quick comment. First of all, how dare you catcall Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez by inviting her on your show? I mean, how dare you? That's sexism in action right there.
Yeah, apparently. You know, what do you think of that, though? I mean, to use that term, which, you know, that's just to remind everyone, a woman's walking down the street and someone, you know, whistles or something, that's catcalling. How is what you did, asking her to have an intellectual debate on the actual issues, how is that in any way relevant or similar to a catcall?
Catcalling must be very weird in Queens. I don't know if they're like construction workers standing on street corners and shouting to women, "Hey, baby, want to have an hour-long public conversation about trade policy and the vagaries of Viennese economics versus neo-Marxist economics?" It gets strange in her district, apparently. But again, this is so many folks on the left jumping to a sort of intersectional defense in which anybody who requests a discussion or a debate must be evil by their very nature, right? I'm a man, therefore I am catcalling her, even though as an Orthodox Jew, I have never catcalled a woman in my entire life. It's catcalling because I guess if I suggest that I want to have a conversation, I'm demanding a response. Well, every request is a request. All she had to say here was, nah, that would have been fine. I mean, she's got that prerogative, but she goes around talking about how...
I mean, that's part of our platform,
absolutely.
Right? Everybody's a victim, and you know, we need to take as much money as we can from everybody else to redistribute it. That's what socialism is about. So is she just playing that victim card?
No question. And the fact that she feels the necessity to go to this particular card, right, to play the I'm a female and therefore I'm being victimized, this is like catcalling. The fact she goes there instead of just saying, you know what, I'm not interested in debate, the reason she didn't say the latter is because she didn't want to look like she was afraid. And she's been going around on the internet suggesting that people like Ali Stuckey are afraid of her when they make satire about her, or that people on the right are deeply afraid of her perspective. And then the minute that somebody says, you know what, I'm willing to have a discussion or a debate with you, and not only that, just to make it worth your time, I'll give money to charity or your campaign, then it's all of a sudden catcalling if you suggest such a thing. It's pretty amazing.
Well, you know, I first saw that, and it didn't even make sense to me because of the use of the word catcall and the fact that you actually were asking her to have a civil conversation and a real debate. But she's not going to do it. Why do you think she's not going to do it, Ben?
Well, I mean, I don't think there's a lot of upside for her, to be frank. I mean, if she were to get into a discussion with somebody who asks her tough questions, I don't think she has the information or the philosophy at her disposal to actually answer those questions well. And she knows that, which is why her best move here would have been either to just ignore or to say no, and then everybody would have moved on with their life. But instead, it turned into her invoking victim status, which, you know, rallies the base. There's no question folks in the media are very excited about this. If you look at the leftist response to her tweet, it's Ocasio-Cortez responds the way every Democrat should respond to anybody on the right who wants to have a discussion. And then they wonder why more Americans are turning away from the intersectional left than ever.
Yeah, you know, Ben, one of the things that has always made us great is an appreciation for some kind of intellectual diversity, right? Being able to have civil debates, being able to share ideas. I mean, that's how we evolve. That's how we get better. But when one side isn't even willing to have the conversation, where does that leave us as a country?
Yeah, that is the serious problem. And what's absurd is there are a bunch of folks on the left who responded to this entire controversy by tweeting at me. These are mainstream left commentators saying, well, why don't you have me on your show? And I was like, okay. And they didn't really know how to respond to that because I'm happy to have conversations with the folks on the left. I have conversations with folks on the left all the time. The left just doesn't want to open the Overton window enough to have conversations with anybody on the right.
Yeah, well, because they automatically assume they're right, you're wrong. And they don't want to be proven otherwise with any kind of factual knowledge. I mean, look, you know, I think if you go out and you ask anyone, and you know this better than Americans believe in opportunity, right, and prosperity. It's just in our DNA. It's part of what this country was founded on. But you go around the world, and whether you're talking about Venezuela, or you're talking about Cuba, you're even talking about Denmark, where they charge well over 50% in taxes at the federal rate. So everybody's working for the government, where you pay 180% tax on a car, which is more than the cost of a car. Or, you know, you go to college and get a stipend. They plan on 5 years, but everybody's taking 6+ years because you're being paid to go to a free college. It shows you, when you look at their debt levels, even in Denmark, it just doesn't work, does it?
Well, I mean, this is the serious problem with a lot of socialist philosophy, is that they're constantly shifting the goalposts. You know, is it that their education system is good, or their healthcare system is good? Or is it that all of these systems are built atop a capitalist edifice that made these countries prosperous in the first place? And these are the conversations that actually should be had. Yeah. But Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is not interested in having them, obviously.
Hey, by the way, let me ask you about the harassment of conservative commentators. Charlie Kirk, Candace Owens, what did you think about that one?
Well, I mean, obviously, that was insane. And I told Charlie I feel lucky that I eat in kosher restaurants where most of the people who are around me are members of my community, because I'd like to be able to get through a meal in peace. Apparently, Charlie and Candace cannot.
Well, you know, Ben, I'll tell you one thing. Had you debated her, my money's on you.
Well, it would have been fun. Would have been fun. Oh, well.
All right. Thank you so much. It's good to see you. Thank you for being here.
You too.
First.
Sweep away Republicans like the Pharaoh's army. But the wave may not be arriving as planned. Democrats hope to flip Ohio's 12th congressional district in a special election last night, but the race is still too close to call. Meanwhile, almost every candidate endorsed by socialist darling Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez was defeated. The great Lou Dobbs is with us from Lou Dobbs Tonight over on Fox Business. The most interesting thing, Lou, is always the differences between the parties. Republican side. Let's do with the Republicans first, because you're the great scourge of the establishment rhino squish.
I've arrived. I love that.
No, you are. I love it when you're like hammering those guys.
I'm not thrilled with many orthodoxies, whether left or right, but particularly the venomous and so awfully wrong left in this country. It's extraordinary. And Ocasio-Cortez is suddenly anointed the face of the Democratic Party. I have to say, it's a motion that I would heartily second and endorse fully, because she knows nothing about economics. She actually said that that the unemployment rate is so low under Trump because everyone has 2 jobs.
Right.
There is no reasoning, no rationality.
You know that, Lou. If 50% of the country has 2 jobs, that's full employment. And you know it makes sense.
Absolute sense. And well, as much sense as the far left ever makes. And to think that she is aware that there is, as she put it, it's happening. There's something happening. She keeps talking about something, and no one yet has ascribed a label, a descriptive label, to any of it.
No. I think she's better to leave it to as vague, because when you pin down the something, she's unimpressed. Well, what's interesting about this, though, is that she was a star. She kind of burst on the scene. She was the new star, and she's like, it's clear she's not star quality.
It's clear, I think, perhaps to you, to me, to this audience, but I'm not sure it's clear at all to the Democrats, because they are the ones, after all, who carry around as if it's precious cargo, Trump derangement syndrome. They carry around the idea that other people's money is better spent by them. There are all sorts of delusional aspects to their everyday life, including who will be the face of the Democratic Party for years to come.
Well, let's look at over on the GOP side. As I said, you like to crush the rhino squishes like a bug beneath your thumb.
I like that.
Who came out better from last night, the Trumpism or rhino squishism?
Well, it's interesting. If I can just give you a bit of a long answer. The president tweeted he was 5 for 5. He endorsed 5 candidates. 5 candidates won or are leading tonight. And that's pretty good. Not a single person running for office in the Republican Party thanked Paul Ryan for their victories, but they were all thanking President Trump. So I think there's a moral here for the rest of the Republicans, including rhinos. They had better quickly affix themselves to the Trump agenda if they intend to win in November.
So it's like go Trump or go home, basically.
Exactly.
And you're a little disappointed, Chris Kobach? It's all a bit neck and neck in that
Well,
race?
I'm thrilled that he's ahead in the count to this point, something like 4,000 provisional ballots. And as Secretary of State, he will be one of the great things. I've known Chris Kobach for a long time. He is strong. He is absolutely resolute. He is an original thinker. That's something that's alien to American politics, just ask President Trump. And I think he'll make a terrific governor for the state of Kansas. But what I really like today is the man as Secretary of State is the one who will be responsible for counting those ballots. And they said, oh, wait a minute, you have to recuse yourself. This is my language, not his, but the intent is clear. He told them to go to hell. Because he wants to be sure that it's fair and it will be orderly, and that's exactly the right answer from any Republican.
Yeah, and I agree with you that he's an original thinker, and I love what he says about immigration and voter ID and all those critical issues. What about, though, what they say about Ohio, just quickly, Lou? I think Mitt carried it by 10, last time Trump by 12 points. Again, why is that so close?
It's close because of turnout in large measure. The Republicans did not turn out as they should have. They're so far behind 2016 levels. It's funny. Tom Perez, the chairman of the DNC, is saying he's got great optimism. Remember, Ohio's 12th district was going to be in the blue wave column. Unfortunately, he's trying to spin the idea that a party that turned out almost twice as many people in the 12th district as the Republicans will absolutely slay it.
Well, you can, if you get close up to it, you can still just see about that. Oh, there it is. Just like a little droplet on the floor, the blue wave. Lou Dobbs, thank you. Criminal illegal immigrants roam free in the United States. But Democrats say the only problem is that the borders aren't open enough. That's next.